Well, hello and welcome to day number 3, video number 1. We have 2 videos waiting for you today and 2 topics that we're going to cover. First, we're going to cover basic page setup and flow. We've already discussed the technical aspect behind setting up a page, but today we're going to talk about the marketing aspect of how your pages should flow. So we're going to talk about page flow, and then we're going to talk about what we call off-page SEO, an introduction to the off-page aspect of search engine optimization. Let's get started. I'm here looking at the main page, the default settings on the website that we just installed. Again, as I've referenced a couple of times before, I realize this is an ugly layout because this is the default settings, and we really don't have much of what we would consider a good-looking website here. And that's okay, because as we make more and more of these tweaks, the more and more this is going to shape up into a real-world website. So when we talk about the pages versus the posts or blog posts on a website, let's look at the differences. These here, home and a sample page, if I were to have an About Us page, a Contact Us page, these are what we call actual pages because they're static. If I click on here, I go to a specific page on the site and that page never changes. Whereas down here where it says Hello World, this is an actual blog post. And if I were to go and make an additional blog post in my WP admin, then this blog post would be shoved further down, and then my new post would replace it here at the top. And this would happen on and on and on as I make additional blog posts, whereas my pages, again, are static and never change their position within the website. So these are the differences of a post versus a page, or at least the visual differences. There are some additional technical differences. But let's talk about the actual page structure on the site itself, because when somebody comes to your website, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good if they're not clicking on your pages and reading about your services and products and actually making a purchase. 1 million visitors to your website, if they're uninterested visitors or visitors who visit your site and immediately leave, are useless. They're not doing you much good. So this is not so much a function of SEO as it is a function of your marketing, your message, your website salesmanship, if you will. So looking at it from that perspective, you need to ask yourself, what information is critical to a visitor of your website? If you had that person as a captive audience for 20 to 30 seconds, what would you say to him or her? When somebody clicks to visit your website, what problem are they looking to solve? And it's these types of questions that will help you construct a proper page structure on your website, a proper sales message. Now, obviously, you need the basics of what somebody is going to expect. For example, you need a home page, because if I end up on other pages of your website and I need to get back to the home page, but there is no home page button, I might get a little frustrated and leave. We got to make navigation simple. It is often said that your typical web user is going to spend at the most 18 seconds on average. Now, this is if we're just talking averages here, before they leave. Just 18 seconds. So if you have just 18 seconds to connect with somebody, then we better make that website easy to use. An about page that explains who you are, what you do, and introduces you or your product or service to the world. So a home page, an about page, and then an actual product or service page itself. A list of what your products are, what your services are, and how they can get more information, and what makes them unique. A contact page with a contact form. Make it easy for them to get in touch with you. Not just a phone number, not just an address, but also a form that they could fill out to add their name, add their email, add their phone number, and submit that information to get in touch with you or to request a phone call or a quote. These are the types of pages that are considered indispensable. They must be on your website because there are expectations. But going above and beyond this, I'm a big fan of setting up pages on your site that explain or describe what makes you different. A how will this help me page, if applicable. What do I get out of this? What makes you different? What are my expectations? How about a frequently asked questions page? How about a testimonials, what other people are saying page? A page not just with text-based testimonials, but pictures of the individuals who wrote those testimonials to add credibility, audio clips, video clips. See, your pages have a couple of major functions here, or goals, or purposes that they are supposed to serve. And one of those is to move the sales process forward. Well, what is the sales process? Well, the sales process is first you have to get attention, right? You have to earn the person's attention. Second, you need to engage them in some sort of conversation. Well, on a web page, you're not speaking to them verbally, so there needs to be a mental conversation going on. As they're reading, you need to be making connections with them because you can communicate in more ways than just verbal, right? Based on text, if you have video, if you have audio clips, whatever tool you decide to set up on those pages, you need to engage them, get them moving forward in that thought process of the sales process. Getting them moving forward in that sales process, mentally, verbally, engage them. And then finally, your pages need to establish yourself as a trustworthy source of your product or service. Credibility, in other words. And we do that through answering their biggest questions, so a frequently asked questions page. We do that through testimonials, so they can see what other people have to say. We do that by demonstrating that we understand what their challenges are and then describing how we solve those challenges or problems. So there's not a whole lot of technical discussion here in this particular video, and that's by design because this is not a technical discussion by nature. This is a question of your ability to connect and get inside the heads of your prospects. So I hope you've been taking notes. A home page, an about page, a product and services page, a contact us page, those are the essentials. Beyond that, a frequently asked questions page is definitely ideal. Answer their most pressing questions. A testimonials page is also ideal. Show them that you have credibility, that people just like them like and use and swear by your product. Make it easy for them to reach out and get in touch with you. Have a page dedicated to demonstrating what makes your product or service different from your competitors. In addition to that, a page that describes how your product solves their problems and challenges. So I hope we've given you a lot of food for thought here in this video. I'm going to see you in video number 2, where we're going to move on to a slightly more technical discussion as we demonstrate the basics of off-page search engine optimization. I'll see you in video number 2.